Hello everybody, welcome to Roll, Read Out Loud and Literacy. Anne Bryant here, children's author. Three little elements to today's session, and the first one is a story that I'm rereading. I read it right at the beginning of this whole quarantine thing, but I did it on Facebook Live and the internet signal was not that great, and so the music that goes with the story slightly drowned out my voice, so I'm doing it again and hoping for a better result this time. So it's called Jungle Home, and the illustrations are by Andy Elkerton. Here we go. Put the music on. Can you hear the birds singing? In the jungle. Mr. Grey sits at home, very rich, but all alone. In the jungle far away, rainbow lizards seem to say, "Please don't take our home away." Mr. Grey reads a book. A jungle dying? I must look. In the jungle far away, frogs and fruit bats seem to say, "Please don't take our home away." Mr. Grey gets on a plane. He flies through clouds and sun and rain. In the jungle far away, bees and beetles seem to say, "Please don't take our home away." Mr. Grey finds a river. He sees the trees that shake and shiver. In the jungle just beside him, monkeys from the treetops guide him. "Can you help us, please?" they say. "Don't let them take our home away." "I'll buy your home," says Mr. Grey. "Then you and all your friends can stay." Now Mr. Grey sits at home, not so rich, but not alone. And in every story there is a message. The author puts a message. Quite apart from the theme and the content and everything else that the story is about, there's a special message. And the special message that I put in there was about Mr. Grey. And the message was that it's not necessarily money that makes you happy, but friends definitely do. And I think we're finding that now, aren't we? Because look at him at the beginning. He's very rich. He's got a lovely big house and lots of money, but see how sad he looked? And that's because he's all alone. Whereas at the end, when he spent all his money on the jungle and saved all the creatures, they're all his friends. And he looks so much happier. So that was my special message in that book. Now, 2 days ago, I set you a challenge. And it was when I just finished reading The Three Billy Goats Gruff. No, it wasn't. It was the other one. It was Gordon Goat, the story about Gordon Goat. And the challenge was to try and find words that rhyme with goat, but that end in O-A-T. O-A-T. That's the same as goat. And I've got just one syllable, one sound. Goat, just like that. So I found 10, and my ones that I found were boat and bloat and coat and groat, which is an old, very ancient English silver coin, and gloat, which is when you're boasting about something, and oat, because we can say oat without saying oats, because we can talk about oat milk. And moat, which is round a castle. And stoat, which is like a weasel. And throat. And finally, vote. Oh no, vote isn't one. No, I found 9. And the reason vote isn't one, look, can you see my finger? That's where I hurt it gardening. Vote isn't one because that's O-T-E and not O-A-T. So 9. Let's see if you managed to find more than 9. I bet you did, some of you. Okay, and today the third element that I've got for you is a poem. Because in the jungle home, we had all sorts of creatures. You might remember some of them. There were rainbow lizards. Let's have a look at that picture again. Rainbow lizards, there they are. And there were frogs and fruit bats. Let's have a look at them. And there were bees and beetles. There were also monkeys. And in the pictures themselves, in the illustrations that Andy's done, there were also other different kinds of bugs and other different kinds of creatures like snakes and things like that. But I'm going to concentrate on bugs today. I like bugs. We could actually do a little song about bugs, and then we'll have the last element, which is the bug poem. So the song says, in my garden, under my tree, you must tiptoe very carefully, 'cause all my friends live under that tree, and you don't want to tread on Alf, you see, 'cause Alf is an ant, Alf is an ant, down on the ground, ba-dum, ba-dum. Alf is an ant, Alf is an ant, creeping all around. So first it was Alf, and then it's going to be Ben is a beetle, and then the last one is going to be Sid is a slug. I don't really like slugs very much, but some people do. Okay, so we're going to start with Alf is an ant, and you join in when I do Alf is an ant, and you can do the clapping bit as well. I'll sing the bit in between. In my garden, under my tree, you must tiptoe very carefully, 'cause all my friends live under that tree, and you don't want to tread on Alf, you see, 'cause Alf is an ant, Alf is an ant, down on the ground, ba-dum, ba-dum. Alf is an ant, Alf is an ant, creeping all around. In my garden, under my tree, you must tiptoe very carefully, 'cause all my friends live under that tree, and you don't want to tread on Ben, you see, 'cause Ben is a beetle, Ben is a beetle, down on the ground. Ben is a beetle, Ben is a beetle, creeping all around. In my garden, under my tree, you must tiptoe very carefully, 'cause all my friends live under that tree, and you don't want to tread on Sid, you see, 'cause Sid is a slug, Sid is a slug, down on the ground. Sid is a slug, Sid is a slug, creeping all around. There we are. There's a little song about some mini bugs, and now let's have the poem about the mini bugs. There's a mistake in this illustration, and I wonder if you can spot it when you hear the words. This is called The Bugs and the Stars. Bugs in the woods in the dark, eyes glinting and gleaming across moss and wispy grass. Ant squints at caterpillar. Caterpillar blinks at beetle. Beetle nods at spider. Spider spots ladybird. Ladybird glances at bee. Bee glimpses butterfly. Butterfly spies cranefly. Cranefly stares at the stars. The stars twinkle at the silent bugs in the dark wood below. I think that you might have lost the picture for a moment there. There is the full page, but instead of a crane fly, we've got a dragonfly. Perhaps that was a deliberate mistake. And did you notice they did all sorts of different things with their eyes? So not just looking, but we had blinking and spotting and glancing, glimpsing, spying and staring. All those different things. You could try and think of more things. This could be your challenge for today. Try and think of some more things that you could do with your eyes. So once again, the things which I have said are, oh, I forgot to mention squint, blink, spot, glance, glimpse, spy and stare. See if you can think of any more things. So that's it for today, everybody. Hope you have a nice rest of the day. More sunshine, I think, coming. Bye, everybody.